Right, time to have a little bit of fun back in the kitchen. We're all washed up and we've got an array of very nutritious, beautiful, healthy ingredients. And this is something that Chef Clem, you were literally glowing when you were talking about creating your own kind of milk kind of version here, and we're going to be using the oat milk. And we know that breakfast is a vitally important day, especially if you're busy, if you're training, if you've entered into a new training kind of program. You need the kind of energy, slow burn energy that's going to sustain you throughout the day. And this one looks absolutely amazing in the finished product, but there are so many nutritional values that we are squeezing into this one. So I think we can all admit that it's much easier to tackle your day when you have had that good breakfast. Now, Chef Clem knows how to kickstart our days. He's going to show us how to get the smoothie bowl savvy, if you will, and how to make our own oat milk. And he loves it. Get ready, because this will take your breakfast game to the next level. You say it's really, really simple.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to necessarily go for, while you can get brilliant store-bought, this is a great way to create your own, and we're going to kind of level it up with a smoothie bowl here. So take us through the base of this being our oat milk.
I was saying to the producer in the previous segment, like, I like when things don't go as planned in the kitchen, but then out of it comes something that's like really amazing. And what happened was, it was literally a Saturday morning, and I was gonna have coffee, and there was no milk in the house. And that happens, right? And instead of like going to the shop, whatever, I was like, let me just actually try this oat milk thing. Let's see what the rest of the world's talking about. And so serious, it's easy to make, and I loved it, and it's what I've been doing ever since. So, check it out. Okay, rolled oats, the normal oats that, I mean, basically everybody has.
Normal breakfast oats.
Normal breakfast oats going in there. And I use about a quarter cup. You get quite a lot of milk out of a quarter cup. I normally add about a liter of water to a quarter cup, yeah? But here's the trick, a little bit of salt. And the salt is actually not just a trick for this drink. Whenever I cook oats in general, a little bit of salt goes in.
Okay.
It just brings out the flavor of the oats. It's
just one of those things. It's
absolutely
an activator.
So we're gonna go in with some water. It's so simple. It's so simple. And then all we're gonna do is we're gonna blitz it up. So I'm using the NutriBullet now, but you could use any upright blender, any hand blender. But the thing is, let it go. Let it just do its thing.
Like let it really
break
work through. Okay.
And you're seeing already the color, right? It looks milky. So you want it to go for a minute. That way you really get the richness and the texture out of it. But I'm gonna stop it now because noise. But it's
already you can see though.
Already you can see. And what happens is I'm going to just, let me just see, what can I strain it into? I'm gonna strain it into this one right now because I'm gonna use this to make my smoothie. So you strain it off, and that milk,
wow,
that looks like straight up milk.
Yeah, for sure.
What also blows my mind is the texture of it. It's thick, which is great. You don't want to have a...
Especially for a smoothie.
Especially for a smoothie, and for like this in your coffee. It's so good. So okay, this is what I'm actually gonna... I promise you, it's gonna change the way you have your coffees in the morning. It adds so much body to your coffee as well, and to your smoothies.
And
I love this.
If you struggle with lactose.
Exactly. Brilliant. So what we're gonna do now is, this is the beautiful oat milk. I pop it into a jar. I've got a little beaker like this at home, which has a little cork on it. I keep mine for 2 weeks in the fridge. Wow, well, I finish it quite quickly, but I mean, I've had it in the fridge for like 2 weeks, and it's still...
Up to 2 weeks, wow, okay.
So what you want to do is, because we are blitzing up the oat, a little bit of the grain does pass through the sieve. So every now and then when you use it, just give it a little stir, just to like mix everything all together. But it's so easy, it's so simple.
Very simple, brilliant, man, okay.
So we're gonna build the smoothie bowl, and what I do is I actually keep some of that pulp that I've strained off, and I use this to thicken the smoothie bowl. So smoothie bowls, it's not just a big Instagram thing. They're really, really great, especially if you're trying to get your kids, or you're trying to get yourself to have more nuts, more fruits in there. It's a really great way to like decorate your breakfast in the morning, eating with your eyes, and just starting with the day off on another amazing
quick, but
note.
you can jam pack it with nutrients, which is, I think, the most important thing. And I always love the idea of your body, the first thing that you kind of put into your body at the start of the day being so nutrient rich. Feed your brain, give yourself that long kind of burn, slow burn kind of energy release as well.
Absolutely.
And also the flavor profile is lovely.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Okay,
so what's going in?
So right, we're gonna got some banana, which are frozen, and that's gonna give it some like creamy texture. You could freeze strawberries, you could freeze avo. Avo's great in smoothies as well, especially smoothie bowls. So you can freeze them.
That's nice if you're sorry to cut you off, but if your bananas are kind of reaching the end of their life cycle, but rather than throwing out 2 or 3 bananas that you haven't, bang them in the freezer so you've got them there ready for
Absolutely. No more banana bread.
Yeah.
That was level 5. It's level 2, and we're doing smoothie bowl. All right, so I've got, Nicole's made some other milk for me. I'm gonna pour that in there. You wanna keep it nice and chunky. Remember, a smoothie bowl's gotta have enough texture that you can decorate the top. So you don't want it too thin.
Yeah, you're not drinking it, you're eating it.
You're eating it, yeah. So then we're gonna go with the pulp. If you
okay.
wanted to kind of water it out, if you made it too thick, what's really cool, you can use a bit of water in there, a bit of coconut water. Coconut water is great because it adds a tropical flavor to it. You can use coconut milk. You got some lactose-free milks as well. What I also like doing is actually adding like a bit of the Woolies smoothies to it. So it's like an extra punch of fruit. It's really delicious. Especially like if you know you're going to be training later on in the day, like if we train like at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, we up really early in the morning, get that extra bit of fruit in there as well, keep us sustained. With the time we do train, we're not feeling like...
Yeah, not pup, it gives you a little bit of a burst, yeah.
Ready?
Cool. Good.
If you wanted to make it sweeter than what it is right now, because the banana adds a nice sweetness to it, you could totally add some dates to it, a little bit of honey, a little agave syrup. But I find like the banana is like a nice sweetness level.
Enough, yeah.
Especially because you're going to top it with whatever you want to...
The fruit's going to give you natural sugar anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so okay. So I feel like... Oh, no, actually, I think it might be thick enough. I think that's thick enough.
Yeah.
We'll see. Will it float?
It'll be the buoyancy test.
The buoyancy test. Okay, cool. So what I've done is I've gone with some of my favorite ingredients right now. Blueberries are really great. And they're also very, like, to the eye, it's amazing because it's this dark black berry, but the inside is, like, this vibrant green.
Beautiful, yeah.
I love the contrast. Yeah, that's
so the colour comes from the skin. Wow, okay.
Yeah. And the thing about, like, smoothie bowls is you have to make them pretty. If it's not Instagrammable, you've kind of not done it justice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Get that on there. I love when food trends are actually, it's not just like pretty, but it actually like has purpose and it actually does deliver. Okay, the buoyancy test, please float. Are you floating? No, you're not. No,
but it's okay.
So if you want to make it thicker, just add more of that pulp to it or add less liquid like we did. But this is really good. I dig it, that's pretty cool.
No,
then we got some nuts going in there. Over the top, you gotta get it beautiful. Also, if you wanted to add a little extra flavor to it, you can add some cinnamon to the smoothie. I'm gonna go a little cinnamon on the top. This is actually nutmeg. Nutmeg, oh, it's so good. But we don't use enough nutmeg. Nutmeg's really delicious. Some pumpkin seeds. Okay, we're actually doing the buoyancy test.
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
you passed.
We're winning.
You passed with flying colours.
There we go. And then, because you're allowed to, a little bit of dark chocolate. If you want a little over the top, dark chocolate is really great. Big in chocolatey flavour.
Rich in antioxidants. That's beautiful. It's got all the nutrients you need to take you through your day. And it tastes absolutely delicious. And it's, of course, utilising our gem of the day. It's going to be the find for our Tuesday morning. It's going to be our homemade oat milk. You can find this full recipe on expressoshow.com. Go and create yourself a beautiful smoothie bowl to see you through your active, fulfilled day.